Men, in this video I'm going to give you everything you need to consistently improve your physical strength. Why is improving our physical strength massively important as we start to get over the age of 40? Well, it is on the decline. And if it's on the decline, it needs to be very high on our priority list. Because if it's not, then we will be riddled for decades with joint pain, joint soreness, and then we'll be staring at large bills for joint surgeries and typically falling into the categories of I'm getting old, and that is the reason for everything. There is a lot of things that we can do to prevent. Anyway, who am I? My name is Paul Green and I'm an online coach. I run the longevity program, but I'm a former British paratrooper and Special Forces Support Group operator. Over the past decade, I have trained thousands of elite men across the fence, including those in the RAF, the Royal Marines and the Parachute Regiment. I have trained men of all shapes and sizes, all ages, some strong, some weak as piss, some mobile and some with no mobility whatsoever, some that are fit and some that are injured. I've worked with a whole range and I'm very grateful for the amount of experience that I have, and I hope to package the laser focused strength knowledge that I have into this short video. I appreciate that you are probably busy, so I'm not going to waste too much of your time. However, this is the longevity program. This is the laser focused strength and conditioning service for men over 40, and again, this is solely focused on reversing the decline in strength, power and speed. Men that don't train their power, strength and speed are going to come into a lot of issues as they start to get on a little bit. My promise, by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to consistently improve your physical strength, and you'll have a plan to do exactly that. So that's my promise. And this is the plan. I appreciate there's a lot on this plan, but I'm only going to dip into each one of these and I'm going to overview them all, and it's going to take not that long, trust me. So I'm going to go over fuel, the non-negotiables of throughout every single day of this approach, your weekly training splits based off if you were training once, twice or three times per week. I'm going to mention volume, rep ranges, intensity and rest periods, how to track your progress, what to do if you do not improve, and an example program. Every single one of these is massively important. If you don't know any of these, or you only choose one of them, then you're missing out, you're leaving stuff on the table. So I've included every single one of these because these are of the highest importance when you are looking to consistently improve your physical strength. So straight away, what is physical strength? Physical strength is the measure of an individual's exertion of force on physical objects. Physical strength is not going to the gym and trying to get beach muscles. That is a common misconception in the fitness industry. I'm going to the gym to get stronger, when really you may not be actually getting that much stronger because of the rep ranges, the rest periods, the amount of fuel that you're getting, and all of that stuff. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is fuel. Like I touched on the last slide, do not prioritise losing body fat on a strength block. Trust me. When you are training strength, you are training at a heightened intensity. You are doing movements in which recruit maximum muscle activation. When you're doing that, your appetite is greater because your hormones are all optimized in order for you to improve strength. Do not reduce the calories when you are on a strength training block. It's just a poor way of doing business. Anyway, on fuel, yesterday I posted a high performance meal plan. Every single meal for a day. It's absolutely unbelievable, right? Based off someone that's 90 kilograms, someone that's 80 kilograms, someone that's 70 kilograms. I posted that yesterday. If you want to know how to fuel your body for high performance, especially consistent strength improvements, then watch that video or skip through it, print screen the meal plan, and then get yourself back onto this video. Happy with that? I'll post a link, there'll be a link that pops up as I'm doing this video. Straight away, the non-negotiables when you are training strength. Firstly, you probably don't want to hear this, but it's correct. You need to earn the right to train strength. And when you're on the longevity program, you start with a 12-week hypertrophy block. We build muscle, build technique, and then we will then earn the right to go on to a nice strength training block so that our joints and muscles are ready to actually work at those intensities. The reason you have to earn the right to train strength is because if you're like a bull in a china shop and you just go straight into strength training, I always use, whenever I'm in doubt with this type of stuff, I always like to use an example of a middle-aged woman called Diane. Diane has just approached me for, she wants to get stronger. And let's say I have her under the barbell doing 5 sets of 4 back squat at 90% of a 1 rep max squat. Would that be a reasonable thing for me to do as a coach? Do you know what I'm saying? So Diane, just in case if there's anyone that's called Diane watching this video, I do not train women. I'm not interested in the development of women. My missus, different story. However, I do not train women, I'm training men, because men I see struggling and it upsets me massively. So, you need to earn the right to train strength. What does this mean? Listen, men, if you can move safely with weight, then I am happy that you can. If you cannot move safely with weight, you need to have a period of establishing some fundamentals of technique before you then start really creeping up the intensities. I hope you understand that point. Cool. I'm rattling on fast here, gentlemen, because I do not want this video to go on too long. You have to hit your daily fuel requirements. How can you expect to perform in the gym if you're barely eating any food? Do you know what I mean? Same with water as well and hydration. You need to be hitting your daily fuel requirements. That is food and that is water. Again, follow a plan. I'm going to give you a plan at the latter stages of this video for you to follow, and it's an unbelievable plan and will improve your strength a lot, right? But the hardest part is the consistency. So, last point, track your workouts. I'm going to go more into this on a later slide because it's not good enough for me just saying track your workouts. We need to know how and what we're actually tracking. So that is the non-negotiables. Every single one of them needs to be done every single day. So training splits. I understand some of you cannot train 3, 2 or 1. Well, obviously if you're watching this video you can't even train once per week, then that is an absolute shambles. What are you watching this video for? Hopefully this video motivates you into this. I've done a lot of research in training volume, and 3 to 4 times per week seems to be optimal at the moment, but these studies are very hard to be accurate because it doesn't take into account the training age of and the experience of the individuals. A lot of times it's people that are extreme beginners when strength training. So again, you know, it's very hard for it to be accurate. Anyway, assuming you can only train once per week, then you are best suited to doing a full body session if you're improving your strength. Twice per week, doing an upper body session and then a lower body session. 3 times per week, upper body, lower body, and then a full body accessory strength session. All of these are now strength. Hopefully you appreciate that, and I'm not going to harp on about this. I'm going to move straight on. So, this is where people get it wrong. I swear to God, this is where people get it wrong, right? So if you're training strength, the volume needs to be about 10 to 15 sets per session on a certain muscle group. Again, I've done a lot of research on this, and there's a lot of discrepancy between sets per session. But typically, people get the most results from 10 to 15 sets. Some people get results from more, some people get results from less. However, the most seems to come from them too. Rep ranges, 4 to 6 repetitions to train strength. When we're training strength, especially the high-end strength, we are hitting our fast twitch muscle fibers, and it's extremely important that we focus solely on them fast twitch muscle fibers. Any more reps than this. Let's say we were doing 10 reps. The start of the set, we're working our slow twitch, we're kind of easing into it. And then the latter is fast twitch. So, for example, hypertrophy, when you're going into the gym and training your beach muscles, people tend to do 10 repetitions. That usually works because the start of the set trains the slow twitch, and then the end of the set, where they're really maxing out their intensity, trains their fast twitch. So they get two different types of muscle recruitment, improving their muscle size. Anyway, the difference between beach muscles and strength is the effort, right? The effort of every single one of your working sets needs to be a minimum of 90%, obviously maxing out at 100% effort. And this is the thing that most people get wrong. When people are training strength, it is absolutely crucial that you get enough rest in order for you to execute a high quality set next. And in order to do that, you need to be having 3 to 5 minutes rest. You're shifting a lot of weight. You are putting your body and your brain through a high amount of stress. You need to be having the correct rest periods to ensure performance maintains throughout the session. Hopefully you understand that. I'm going to move straight on. Tracking progress. Again, mentioned it on the non-negotiables. What are you going to track? So straight away, I've got notebook and pen or phone. Me personally, phone is proper annoying. When you've got music coming out your phone and you've got stopwatches to mark rest periods and stuff like that, and then you've taken notes during the session for how many sets you've done and whatever else, it's proper annoying. I like to go in the gym, sometimes I've got my music on my phone and I'll have a stopwatch. My phone just stays there now. It just stays there. I look at the stopwatch, that's my time period's done. And my notebook, which is already pre-planned, the exercises which I'm doing, so the 5 or 6 exercises which I'm doing, all written down, 1 to 6, and then this comes into it. All I need to do is write down a number. Pretty straightforward. So I prefer a notebook, some of you might prefer phone, whatever you want to choose. I'm happy that you're tracking your workouts because it's massively important. So you write down the exercises that you do for the session prior to going to the gym. When you're in the gym and you've just done a set, write down how many repetitions you achieved. Like I said earlier on the previous slide, it was in between 4 to 6. If you only achieve 3, just write it down. It doesn't matter. It's not a failure. Just write it down. And the weight that you've lifted as well. Some barbells weigh 15 kilograms, some weigh 20. And if you're doing like a hexi bar deadlift, then barbells weigh 25. So it's important that you actually know the weight on the bar. If you're doing a resistance machine, just track the amount of plates that you're adding to these plate loaded machines, because the machines themselves can vary in the weight. So hopefully you appreciate that. Also technique as well. I always write, let's say I didn't make the set, or let's say for example I only achieved 4 reps and I was supposed to do 6 that day. I'd write last rep or last 2 reps, terrible technique. I just write it down because it's important when you look back the next week and you realise, I only managed 4 reps and 2 of them reps was terrible technique. It's very important information, and the more information you've got, the more you can make slight adjustments as the weeks go by. Another one, weekly photos. I said earlier on that we've made the shift now from an aesthetic type of approach. However, if you're training your fast twitch muscle fibers and you're building strength, your muscle density will actually improve because we are predominantly focusing on them fast twitch muscle fibers. They will improve in size. Your physique will actually develop because the more fast twitch muscle fibers are actually developing. So weekly photos, it's just a nice to have. It's just to look back and just be like, yeah, I'm actually improving in muscle size in certain areas, which is cool. It's extra motivation. And like I said earlier on, the why to this, right? The main reason is this is going to aid you in just understanding how much progress you're actually making. Now, what I see a lot of people doing and again they get this wrong, is they will only track this. They will only track how many repetitions they've achieved. And let's say they achieve the same weight and the same repetitions the following week. I'm not improving, panic, 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 fear, 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 hormones. Gentlemen, right? Yes, the weight that you've lifted is important. The repetitions in which you achieve is important. But the technique in which you lifted them is very important. And also, how quick you recover from the sessions is important. All 4 of these variables can be tracked. So hopefully you don't get too fixated on one of them variables, because if the weight stays the same and the reps stay the same, however, you don't have any soreness the next day, that is improvement. Do you understand? Awesome. Right, straight on to the next one. Men, I've had a lot of new subscribers recently, and it's an absolute joy to see. Thank you for supporting my longevity mission on the YouTube, and those of you that are on the longevity program, absolutely awesome to see you here developing yourselves with educational content. I am a nerd myself, and I do appreciate fellow nerds that absolutely love educational content. So, man, your support means the world to me. So, happy days. Keep it going. Keep it going. Okay, this is another big one, man. Really big one. Because if you don't know what to do when you improve, if you don't know what to do when you do not improve, then 4 weeks in, 5 weeks in, you'll just sack it and then go back to that thing that you've been always doing. Before I even get into this slide, I want you to look back and realise, if you think about yourself physically now, how much, if you were being honest with yourself, I know you probably haven't tracked for the past 10 years, but imagine if you did. Imagine if you tracked your progress for 10 years in the gym. That would be unbelievable. Imagine if you could go back and go, 2014. This is the strength session that I did in 2014. That's unbelievable, right? But anyway, let's assume that you didn't do that. What sort of strength level were you in your main lifts? Your deadlift, your back squat, your bench press. What sort of strength were you 10 years ago? Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people training out there that aren't actually improving. Anyway, let me continue. So like I said earlier on, we need to reflect on all of these, right? We need to reflect on weight lifted, reps achieved, recovery rates, and the improvements we have in our technique. We can write these down. Great form, perfect form. Do you know what I mean? A little comment on the end of our notes. If there is no improvements, the IA drill, immediate action drill, is to add 200 calories of carbs around your workout. Excuse the typo. If there is still no improvements, conduct a deload week. Now, a deload week is where we reduce the volume of our sessions by 50%, and we reduce the weight that we lifted by 50%. We basically give ourselves a little bit of a breather week, because that just allows the muscles to go, And these are a very important part of the program. Usually I recommend to do these every 6 weeks. However, I've noticed individuals are different. Some people will need a deload week after 4 weeks. Some need them after 5 weeks. Some can get away with 8 weeks of training without needing a deload week. So don't throw in a deload week or don't even consider it unless you do not improve. And you've reflected on this, you've added some calories around your workouts to give yourself more energy to fuel high performance, and then, only then, will you conduct a deload week. Make sense? Nice one. Right, template session for you, fine gentlemen. So we've got I'm going to give you, straight away, the best thing I could give you is the 3-day split. Because then if you're only a 1 day, you could maybe mix the two. Anyway, I'm not going to explain on how to do that. You can be, great. You can figure that out yourselves. So we've got lower body focus, big exercises to start with, and then we finish with the small exercises. Notice how 5 sets, 3 to 5 reps. 4 sets, 3 to 5 reps. 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps. Notice how we're getting, close to them 10 sets, maximal strength, 3 to 5, 3 to 5. 9 sets in total for these 2 exercises. Yeah. And then with the leg press, we're starting we've hit the end range of the rep ranges that I said, 4 to 6, but we're also getting a little bit of muscle size. So that puts us up to 12 sets. 12 sets for strength, and we creep into hypertrophy rep ranges when we add, we go up to the 8 rep mark. And then we've got a couple of accessory exercises just to finish things off. And these exercises, exercise 4 and exercise 5, hamstring curl calf raises, will support the performance on these exercises. So print screen of that. Happy days. That's day 1 done, lower body focus. Day 2, upper body push pull. Bench press, pull-ups, overhead press, barbell row, and dips. That's a hard session, right? First set, we've got 5 sets, 3 to 5 reps of bench. We've got pull-ups, 4 sets, 4 to 6 reps. Overhead press, 4 sets, 3 to 5 reps. Barbell row, 4 sets, 4 to 6 reps. And then we finish with 3 sets of dips. I know you're probably thinking, oh, that's a lot of volume. The volume, we're getting away, it's like kind of a little loophole. It's because we're not focusing purely on a certain muscle here. So like I said, bench press, and we could say overhead press is a chest exercise as well. No, it's such a shoulder. So chest and shoulders, shoulders and triceps. So we've got 3, so we've got 7, and then we've got 12 in total. 12 exercises which focus on the front of the shoulders and the chest. Do you know what I mean? So we're still maintaining in the 10 to 15. And obviously the other exercises are pulling movements, which we've got 8 sets of here. So notice how if it was just a 1 muscle session, 10 to 15 sets, happy days. But because we're getting multiple muscles in, it'll be on the upper end, closer to 15 to 20 total working sets, because we are using different muscles. Hopefully you understand that. Cool. Day 3 is our full body accessory session. We're still focusing on strength. We're just hitting the nooks and crannies that got missed out on day 1 and day 2. So we've got a deadlift variation. Do a deadlift variation which you didn't do on the lower body focus session. We've got a Romanian deadlift where the legs stay a little bit stiffer and it's a bit more of a hamstring focus, or a sumo. Same sort of rep ranges, men. And then we've got incline bench press. So again, strength focus, intensity, T-bar row or dumbbell row. We've got lunges, face pulls on the cables. Again, we're focusing on the little muscles, mid-back, mid-traps, rotate a cuff, and then we finish it off nicely with a core exercise. This is a really enjoyable session, man. It's so good when you've just had a good 2 days of training and then you go into full body accessory, because you're just getting all them other little bits. I'm excited for you, man. I really am excited for you. So this was my plan. Gonna go over, I was supposed to go over fuel, non-negotiables, weekly training splits, volume, rep ranges, intensity, rest periods, how to track your progress, what to do if you don't improve, and give you a strength program. Gentlemen, my promise at the start of this video was, at the end of this video, you will know exactly how to consistently improve your physical strength and have a plan to do exactly that.